Welcome to the Employee Factory, your go-to spot for AI and LLM technical education. In today's explainer, we're diving deep into caching strategies for repeated token sequences. We're going to cover what they are, why they matter, who should care, and exactly how you can put them into practice. If you're an LLM engineer, a researcher parsing massive legal contracts, or a DevOps pro trying to squeeze every last drop of throughput out of your GPUs, well, you're in the right place. Let's figure out how to stop your models from computing the exact same expensive math over and over again. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by estimating LLM system scale, move into the mechanics of prompt caching, look at how semantic caching differs, and wrap up with the ground rules for actually implementing this stuff. Okay, Section 1, estimating LLM system scale. Let's get right into the math behind the madness. To really understand why caching is an absolute game changer, you gotta understand your scale. You can estimate your system load with some back-of-the-envelope math. Take your daily active users, multiply that by average usage, apply a scaling factor for your peak times, and divide by 86,400 seconds. Boom, you've got your request per second, or RPS. This little equation right here basically dictates whether your current hardware can survive or if your compute bill is about to absolutely skyrocket.
And that scaling factor I just mentioned is absolutely crucial. Think about an app like Google Maps. The system doesn't just hum along at average traffic all day, right? It gets absolutely slammed with 5 times the normal traffic right during rush hour. If you size your AI architecture just for the daily average, your entire system is going to break exactly when your users need it the most. Here's a quick developer shortcut. When you're calculating these massive loads, instantly recognize 10 to the 12th power as a trillion operations, or a terabyte. Converting to scientific notation like this just makes capacity planning simple addition and subtraction. But, it also reveals a pretty terrifying reality. Serving millions of user requests means you are computing trillions of tokens. Forcing your GPUs to do redundant math at that kind of scale, that's a financial and energetic black hole. Which brings us to Section 2, prompt caching. This is all about exact text matching for huge savings. Now, prompt caching isn't just saving a final output to a database. When an LLM processes text, it breaks it into tokens and runs every single token through multiple transformer layers. Caching actually captures the intermediate activations, specifically the key value pairs from the attention mechanism for those repeatable token blocks. So instead of doing all those heavy matrix multiplications every time, the model essentially remembers the math. The next time it sees that massive 50-page system prompt, it just injects those stored KV pairs directly from memory. It skips the heavy feed-forward and self-attention calculations completely. But there is a catch. For system-level prompt caching, your prompt usually needs to hit a minimum threshold, typically 1,024 tokens, before the cache even kicks in. And from there, it grows in fixed 128 token steps. Now, sure, some experimental setups might look for tiny 3 to 8 token n-gram repetitions, but in production, you generally need large blocks to make sure the overhead of managing that cache doesn't actually wipe out your savings. When you utilize this properly, it is wild. You can slash your inference latency and costs by 30 to 70% because the math is already done. Those cache tokens are charged at a significantly lower rate. You're basically turning slow and costly into fast and affordable. Plus, you're drastically reducing the power consumption of your GPUs or LPUs, making it a huge win for your bottom line and, honestly, a great win for the environment. Moving right along to Section 3, semantic caching. This is where we match intent, not just exact words. So what happens when a user asks the exact same question but uses slightly different words? Well, exact text caching is going to fail instantly. That's where semantic caching steps in to save the day. It uses embeddings to calculate a similarity score. Basically, you turn the incoming question into a vector and compare it to questions you've already answered. If your cosine similarity hits a threshold, say 0.80, boom, you've matched the underlying intent of the question. It's really important to grasp the difference here. While prompt caching makes the LLM run cheaper by injecting those KV pairs, semantic caching operates entirely differently. It sits in a preprocessor module before the model even does a forward pass. It intercepts the query entirely. If it finds a match, it returns the answer instantly with near zero latency, which means you pay exactly $0 in LLM compute, no model call at all. All right, let's bring it home with Section 4, implementation. These are the golden rules for developers and DevOps. Because prompt caching relies on prefix matching, a single dynamic change at the very start of your prompt breaks the cache for the entire sequence.
Why does this happen? It all comes down to position encoding. If you shift the position of a cached token block, its absolute position encoding changes, which completely invalidates those stored attention values we talked about earlier. Unless your model happens to use relative encodings that are invariant to location, the second it spots a difference, it drops the cache and full-priced processing takes over. So how do you prevent that? The absolute golden rule for developers here is to structure your prompts exactly like this. You lock down your massive static content at the top, and you put the dynamic user-specific questions at the absolute bottom. It should flow logically. System instructions first, then your massive context documents, then your few-shot examples, and finally the user query at the end. If you put that dynamic user query at the top, your cache is going to fail every single time. To actually deploy a semantic caching layer, you're going to need a fast, in-memory data store. Redis is practically built for this, perfect for lightning-fast, low-latency key-value lookups to intercept those queries. If you're in an enterprise environment and need strict governance, you can slap an API management layer in front of Redis for central security and throttling. Or if you need rich vector search alongside a globally distributed persistent database, Cosmos DB is a really fantastic option. Now keep in mind, these caches do not live forever. The memory overhead to store all those massive transformer calculations is huge. So you have to use an LRU, least recently used, or a time-based eviction policy to keep your GPU memory bounded. Typically, your stored key-value pairs are evicted after 5 to 10 minutes just to keep the cache fresh and free up memory. Though, to be fair, some enterprise platforms will let you configure them to stay alive for up to 24 hours. By identifying repeatable token patterns and combining these caching layers, you don't have to choose between performance and cost anymore. You can make your deployments drastically faster, cheaper, and greener. So I'll leave you at this. As your AI scales to millions of requests, are you really willing to keep paying to compute the exact same bots over and over again? Thanks for tuning into this explainer from the Employee Factory. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe, drop a comment below with your own caching experiences, and stay tuned for more deep dive technical tutorials. Until next time, keep building smarter.